Make sure you go to the store to get all your ingredients before you start cooking.
The first thing you do to make lasagna is half pound of lasagna noodles, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 2-3 cloves garlics, 1 medium onion,
Optional.
1 pound of ground beef, 2 teaspoons of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, ½ teaspoon of rosemary, 1 tablespoon of mixed parsley, 2 6-ounce cans of tomato pasta, 1½ cups of hot water, 2 eggs beaten, 1 pint of cottage cheese, 1 half-pound mozzarella cheese, 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. And those are all the ingredients you need to make lasagna.
Before you start cooking, make sure to wash your hands. First step is to put the noodles in to boil. Then put the oil in the pan. And cook the beef. Start the timer for the noodles.
While the meat and the noodles are cooking, for the cottage cheese layer of the lasagna, we're going to crack 2 eggs, beat them, and mix it with the cottage cheese. So first, we're going to crack both the eggs in a bowl. And whisk it until they're beaten. Then we're going to measure two cups of cottage cheese. And then put the eggs in and mix this up. Then you have your layer of cottage cheese.
After the meat's fully cooked and there's no more pink, you have to drain it to get all of the juice out. Then you put it back into this so you can add everything to the meat. First, you add the tomato paste.
Once you have the tomato paste in the meat, mix it up so the tomato paste is mixed into the meat. And then once you have that, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of parsley. So, where did that? Put that in. We have 2 teaspoons of salt. After that, we need a half teaspoon of rosemary. And a 4 teaspoon of pepper. So let's put this in. That should be good. And then mix it all up. After you mix all that up, you need to add the garlic. So you take the first clove of garlic and squish it into here. Like that. And mix that in. Once the noodles are finished cooking, you want to take them over to the sink and drain all the water out. Once you do that, you want to run cold water over the noodles so they don't stick together once they dry. And then once you do that, you want to have your 3 ingredients, the cottage cheese, the meat, and the noodles all ready to assemble the lasagna. Once you have all your materials cooked and ready to put together, the first layer we're going to put down in the pan is a thin layer of the meat sauce. So she's going to put that down. Make sure it's really thin so you have enough meat sauce left for 2 more layers of sauce.
Okay, Lindsay, that's plenty.
So once she has that, I'm going to put down a layer of noodles. So lay about 4 strips across.
Lindsay, you can go.
This. And after that, you put all of the cottage cheese on in a layer over the noodles, and spread that out evenly. And then you can use like a spatula or a spoon if you don't have a spatula to spread it all out. Then you're going to put a layer of mozzarella cheese over the cottage cheese once you spread that out evenly. And then once you have all the mozzarella cheese down, a layer of that, you put half of the meat sauce in another layer. A thicker layer this time. And make sure you spread that out evenly so you don't have like a lot on one side and a thin layer on the other, so it's all even. And then we're going to do another layer of noodles on top of that. So again, you're going to put down 4 strips of noodles And make sure you run cold water over the noodles once you cook them because they'll stick together a little bit like they are now. Just peel them off. So then once you have another layer of noodles down, you want to put the rest of the meat sauce in the layer over that. And finish with a thicker layer of mozzarella cheese on top of that. Once you have that down. And then on top of the mozzarella cheese, you want to sprinkle a thin layer of Parmesan cheese on top of that. Try to get it as even as possible. And then once you have everything put down, you're ready to put it in the oven. So preheat the oven to 350 degrees and put it in for about 30 minutes. And then once you're done cooking that, you want to take it out and let it sit for about 10 minutes. So you let everything set. Alright, so once 30 minutes is up, you're ready to take it out of the oven. Get it out and set it on the stove. And you're ready to eat. Once it's cooked, cut and serve.
It's probably the best lasagna I've ever had.